The San Diego State Aztecs have been another team that has sat in the upper echelon of the Mountain West Conference for so long, and after talks about them maybe going back to the Pac-12, no, this team is loyal to the Mountain West Conference. They're going to look to win another conference championship here in 2023, at least get to one, and they have all the pieces necessary. However, you lose 8 or 9 starters off a defense that was one of the best in the nation last year. We'll see what happens with the Aztecs in 2023. Can this team get back to a Mountain West title and win another conference championship? Or is this team going to start to fall back down the ranks of the Mountain West Conference? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel. I am previewing, predicting, analyzing all 133 FBS level college football teams this summer. It means I'm doing your favorite team, so hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when that video gets uploaded. But there are more ways than that you can help me support my channel. You guys are doing one right now by watching the video. If you'd like and are willing and able, if you'd like whatever, you guys can like, comment, share, anything else you guys are willing and able to do. Subscribing is the biggest way to help me out. Watching the video does a lot as well. But thank you guys for the support on the channel this summer. But enough about that. Let's dive in to the San Diego State Aztecs here in 2023. How do we do things around here? Well, we're going to go through a roster overview and look at who the team lost, who's coming back, and who's coming in through the transfer portal and recruiting class, as well as taking a look at the 2023 Aztec football schedule, and we'll give it a good old game-by-game preview and prediction. So without further ado, if my slide would change, there it goes. Let's talk about the San Diego State Aztecs out of the Mountain West Conference here in 2023. Let's take a look at the quarterback room first, as there are going to be some losses here in this quarterback room. Braxton Burmeister threw 72 passes last year, only 263 yards. That's only 3.7 yards per throw. 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The former Virginia Tech transfer just did not work out for this team at the quarterback position. So Jalen Maiden was your primary starter last year, and he played some really solid football. 2,030 yards on almost 60% completion percentage, but you'd probably like to see him throw a lot better in terms of when it came to his touchdown-interception ratio. 12 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. I think Jalen Maiden has a lot of nice assets, has a lot of very good talent, and I think he has the necessary abilities and talent to be able to change that. But it's just a matter of if he can here in 2023. If not, we may see Kyle Crum step in there. He only threw 17 passes last season, completed only 5 of them. So more likely than not will be Jalen Maiden's show for the entirety of 2023. Let's take a look at the running back room now. Again, not a team that really relied on its offense last year at all. It's been a defensive forward team for a long time now. They did rush for 4 yards per carry last year. You had a lot of guys carry the football last year, but your most notable one was Jordan Byrd. 102 carries, the only guy on this team with over 100 carries. 390 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. He is gone, and you're also going to be losing Chance Bell, who had 50 carries for 205 yards. So who comes back? Keenan Christian, Jalen Armstead, and Cam Davis. All of those guys should be features in the running back room. And speaking of rushing ability, Jalen Maiden on 69 tries had 231 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for the Aztec team last season. So we'll see if this offense can really get a jump this year as well. When you take a look at the wide receiver room, you're going to have to replace some pretty key pieces here, as Tyrell Shavers was your leading receiver at 643 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Jesse Matthews is gone as well. Led the team in catches with 45, had 508 yards and 3 touchdowns as well for the team last season. There is some good talent in this wide receiver room still, as Mekhi Shaw also tied for the team lead with 3 receiving touchdowns, had 349 yards last season. He comes back. Breon Penny and Philip, however you say that first name. There's an E at the end, so I pronounced it Felipe, but could be Philip as well. Felipe Wesley coming back, and then you also do get a transfer coming into this program by the name of Raphael Williams. And he's going to be coming over from Western Carolina, a 3-star, very highly rated 3-star transfer that should give a boost to this wide receiver room. And then tight end room, you return pretty much everyone. Mark Redmond, Jay Rudolph, Cameron Harpole, and others return to this wide receiver room for the Aztecs. On the offensive line, Josh Simons is off to be an Ohio State Buckeye, and Alama Uluave is gone off the offensive line as well. But when you take a look at who's coming back, Thomas Mirabella, Christian Jones, and Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon will be coming back to this offensive line. Again, it's an offense that, again, not really known for their offense are the Aztecs, but it's an offense that started to find a spark last season. We'll see if that continues into 2023. And the defensive, on the defensive side of things, again, like I said, there's a ton of talent leaving this defense. It all starts with the defensive line, a couple Tavais leaving this defensive line. That's Jonah and Justice Tavai that are going to be gone. Jonah had 59 tackles. That was good for third on the team. 10.5 sacks, which led the team, and Justice 37 tackles, 3.5 sacks last season. You're also going to be losing Keyshawn Banks as well, who also had 3.5 sacks and 40 tackles. All of those guys, I believe, started on the defensive line last year. You're going to be losing all those guys. Those are big pieces to lose. However, Garrett Fountain does come back. Had 41 tackles and 3 sacks for the team last season. And then you return a lot of other guys as well. Dominic Oliver, Darian Dalton, Daniel Okpoko, and lots of other guys on the defensive line will return for the Aztecs in 2023. Linebacking room. Oh boy, you do lose a lot of talent here as well. Michael Shawcroft is gone. Led the team with 85 tackles, had 6.5 sacks, which was second on the team. 4 passes defended, pretty solid number for this team last season as well. Cedric Laka is also going to be gone. Was the team's sixth leading tackler. 43 tackles and a sack for him last season. Caden McDonald will also be gone, 43 tackles and 2 sacks, as well as an interception for him last year. So who comes back? Well, Cooper McDonald will be coming back. Zyrus Fiaso, Vi Cajo, my apologies, and Trey White will return to the linebacking unit. And you do get some transfers coming in here. Cody Moon is coming into this program, and then you do get a Power 5 transfer, and I will butcher this name, Samuela Tuihalamaka. Is going to be coming into this program. And then in the defensive back room, you lose pretty solid guys out of the defensive back room as well. CJ Baskerville has transferred out of the program. Really good defensive back, 36 tackles, 3 pass defended for him last year. And Patrick McMorris, 5 pass defended, interception, was the team's second leading tackler last season. Other than that, though, you do get a lot of returning talent in the defensive backfield. DeJon Malone, Kadarius Barfield, Devon Celestine, Noah Avenger, Dallas Branch, Noah Tumblin, and others return for the Aztecs secondary that I still, even though with all they lost, should be one of the best units in the Mountain West Conference. It's just if this offense can wake up, play better, and continue their momentum from the end of last season. Your head coach is Brady Hoke, offensive coordinator Ryan Lindsay, defensive coordinator Kurt Maddox. As now we take a look at the Aztecs schedule for 2023. Any game at home is going to be underlined, while any game on the road will be in italics, or of course that slant to text. Any game you see in green is the game that I think the Aztecs are going to win. Any game in yellow is a back and forth 50-50 type game, but I still think the Aztecs will win, and red is a loss. You start out playing in week 0, one of the few teams to do so this season, against the Ohio Bobcats. I believe this is going to be a very good, very competitive team out of the Mid-American Conference this season. However, I do think the Aztec defense is going to be a little bit too much for whatever the Bobcat offense is going to be able to throw at it. I think it's going to be a very interesting, very close, very competitive game. But all in all, I do think that the Aztecs will prove to be a little bit too much, especially on the defensive end, and Ohio will fall to the Aztecs in 2023. And the Aztecs will pick up their second win of the year against the Idaho State Bengals as well. But this is when things become really tricky for the Aztecs in 2023. You get a home game against UCLA that I think you are going to lose. I just think there's too much firepower on this UCLA offense. Yes, replacing DTR is not going to be easy, but there are 3 very talented options, including a highly recruited freshman in Dante Moore that may very well end up being their starter. You got a lot of guys that come back on offense, even though Zach Charbonnet, some of those other guys in the wide receiver room are gone. Charbonnet, a running back, but there is a lot of nice returning talent to this defense. And again, I'm just not sure what the Aztec offense is going to be yet this season. Could be a game that San Diego State keeps close. I think Snapdragon Stadium is going to be loud and proud, but I think the Aztecs fall just short to the UCLA Bruins. And then going on the road to play Oregon State's not going to be easy either, and I think you drop this game as well. Taking a look at what Oregon State has this year, hey, DJ Uiagalelei, the old Clemson quarterback, yeah, he's into that program now. Damian Martinez is a stud in the running back room. Wide receivers maybe need a little bit of a boost, but Oregon State, I think, is all the necessary pieces, especially if the Pac-12 is going to cannibalize itself like it has in the past. That's a team that don't be surprised if they make a run towards a conference championship game appearance. Got some nice returning pieces on defense as well. Third straight loss coming up here for the San Diego State Aztecs. I think the Boise State Broncos are loaded offensively, and I think are just going to be way too much for the San Diego State defense to handle. Taylon Green, I think, is the best quarterback in the conference. They got one of the best 1-2 punches at running back in Group of 5, if not in the entire nation. Wide receiver room returns a lot of production, and yeah, some key guys on defense leave, but it's a defense I still think is going to play really well in 2023. Their non-conference schedule is hard, so they're going to be well tested coming in to this game, and I think Boise State going to be able to handle the Aztecs and hand San Diego State their third straight loss. And sorry, Aztec fans, I got you losing your fourth straight game here to the Air Force Falcons. Air Force is going to be another very good team this year. Now, this game I could see being winnable for San Diego State. Not saying the three before it aren't winnable, because I think, again, if they play well, they can win those games. But Air Force is a team that does lose a lot offensively. Now, I'm pretty confident in what they have there on the offensive end already, and that defense, which is the bread and butter of the team, much like we see with San Diego State, still returns a lot of talent, does not lose as much as San Diego State. And I think that defense will step up, play a little bit better than San Diego State in this moment, and I think that Air Force going to be able to pull out the win on their home field. So San Diego State, 4 straight losses. You get a much-needed bye week now, and then some games that you should be able to win. You go on the road against Hawaii, and while I think the Rainbow Warriors can be competitive, that's just not a team that I really like as we enter 2023. It's a team that loses some really, really good talent, and while there are some pretty solid transfers coming in to that program, I don't know that it makes much of a difference. I think it's going to take a lot for Hawaii to really turn it around here in 2023. So I got that as a win for San Diego State. And I think Nevada is going to show some improvement in the Mountain West Conference this year. It may not show it record-wise, like, yeah, they may not win 5 or 6 games. It might be more like 3 or 4, but I still think Nevada has the necessary pieces to be able to show improvement from last season. However, I do not think it'll be enough improvement to compete with the San Diego State Aztecs. You stay at home here and play the Utah State after another bye week, because again, you played in week 0, so you get 2 of them. I believe you will be beating the Utah State Aggies here in week 10. Utah State is a team that, again, I'm just not really confident in the Mountain West Conference this season, and there are very few of those teams. By the way, I like a lot of the teams in the Mountain West Conference, but Utah State, while they do return their quarterback from last season, I do believe he ends up coming back. Much like 2021 into 2022, 2022 into 2023, you lose a lot of talent offensively, defensively. A lot of key contributors from this team are gone. A lot of guys that could have helped this program are going to be gone as well. And that's just a team that may need, or I should say that's a team that I have being pretty competitive this season, and I have as a team that could surprise some people. But ultimately, I'm not too confident in them. I think San Diego State's defense will be too much, and the offense will be finding its stride by this point in the season to do enough to win that game. On the road at Colorado State is very, very, very tricky. That's a team that returns a lot on offense, including Torrey Horton at wide receiver. He's going to be very, very good. He might be the best wide receiver the Mountain West Conference has to offer in 2023. Defensively, you return some pretty key guys while losing a lot of key guys as well. But you do return some nice pieces on a defense that was sneakily good last season. However, I think you lost a little too much on defense, and I think the San Diego State defense, again, will be up to task, even with all they lost, especially by this point in the year. The offense might start to find their stride as well. So I think this is a very, very close, uncomfortable road win for the San Diego State Aztecs, but I do not think your road success lasts much longer. I do think you go on the road and lose to the San Jose State Spartans. That's a team that returns Siobhan Cordero at the quarterback position, and while there is some overhaul offensively, especially in that wide receiver room, you lose a couple key defensive pieces as well. I think Siobhan Cordero has what it takes to make some plays, to step up in the big moments, and be able to outlast the San Diego State Aztec defense. San Diego State will find pieces that have worked or that are working for them by this point in the season. So I think San Jose State going to be able to pull off that win against San Diego State. But I do have the Aztecs beating the Fresno State Bulldogs there in Week 13 final regular season game. Fresno State lost a lot on offense, and I think San Diego State's defense is going to be able to keep up with the task. They win that one. So 7-5 is the record. Maybe not what Aztec fans want, but this is a pretty tough schedule. There are a lot of landmine games here. You got a couple Power 5 out-of-conference opponents. Let's see what the offense looks like, and maybe that win total can be higher here in 2023. Let me know your thoughts on the Aztecs in the comment section below. And as always, remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video.